podcast show for business owners and managers who are passionate about developing people and growing a successful business. And now here's your host, Alistair Booth from the HR Booth.
Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we are going to discuss a topic that we give quite a bit of advice on, and it's also something that we have to do in our own team from time to time. So the topic this week is around onboarding new employees, and it's something I've been involved with quite a bit in my career. I think the first time I really got involved with onboarding as such was when I delivered my first kind of induction presentation way back in 1998, and what I was doing then was kind of presenting the kind of HR slides to new starters in a business. So at that point I was working for Telewest, and our customer service and sales trainers would be doing the kind of main induction, covering things like kind of product knowledge, systems, etc. But my role was to kind of discuss a lot of the things that were important to people around, when they get paid, holiday entitlement, process for holidays, etc. So it was very much a kind of one day induction kind of day, if you like, and that's what I would do. So that was my kind of first experience of kind of induction and onboarding, and what I kind of found over the years that kind of process has evolved, and businesses continue to evolve, and what they're looking to do is basically make that process as seamless as possible to kind of welcome new individuals into the business. And having a good onboarding process really does kind of set the foundations to set people up for growth. So what I wanted to do in this episode is just to kind of take a little bit of time just to talk through some of the kind of key strategies that you might want to consider in your business when you are looking to onboard new employees. And it is about kind of creating a really good impression, because as we know, recruitment is difficult, it's timely and it's costly. So what you want to do is make sure that time and effort that you've invested in the recruitment process pays dividends later on, where you can have a really good onboarding process, integrate your member of your new member of the company into the team, and set them up for success and stay with you a long time. So the first part around that is what we would class as the kind of a personalised welcome journey. And there isn't really one size fits all for induction and onboarding, and what you should really do is kind of tailor your process for each role. So for example, if you're a manufacturing client and you've got say a procurement manager starting on the same day as someone on the shop floor who's going to be manufacturing widgets for you, then that induction process is going to look very different for various reasons. The working environment's going to be different. There'll be different kind of health and safety kind of regulations that are required, different kind of systems, and a completely different orientation. So one size fits all isn't what you're after there. So tailor the process to suit the new hires role, their skills and their background. And if you kind of customize that welcome journey as well, it is kind of showing that you've invested a little bit of kind of time in the process. You've tried to understand, I suppose, what's unique about the individual, and it does kind of set you up for success from day one. And where you could kind of take that a stage further is kind of looking at things that have been covered as part of the recruitment process. So what you're then doing is, if there's any potential gaps that they've identified through the recruitment process, what you're then doing is basically covering that as part of your induction. Okay. The second one is around preparation. So like anything, preparation is key. So I'm sure we've all worked for businesses where you're kind of flapping around on the first day when someone's due to start. What we always try to advocate is that if the individual is coming in for an induction, is to perhaps get them to start at a slightly later time that day. So if your team normally start at 9, is perhaps get them to start at 10 o'clock. And the reason that I've always done that is that you could get held up in traffic, there could be a crisis in the morning, and there's nothing worse than you turning up at the same time as your new starter. So delay their start time by a little while. But as I said, preparation is key before that, as well as that you want to make sure that you've got everything in place that you need to have them set up for success. So that will be sending them out an agenda, any essential information, any kind of paperwork you need to get them to complete. And again, try to use technology where you can as well at the minute around that. And if you can get all that done, it just kind of, hopefully sets them up for success, but means as well they don't have any kind of new start kind of nerves before they come in, or you can certainly reduce that. And as I say, try to use technology where you can as well. Lots of companies look at kind of doing like a buddy or mentor system. So that's where you can assign a buddy or a mentor, really just to kind of help them through the initial kind of few weeks in the role. So that shouldn't be their line manager, but that, is just someone who has perhaps been with the business a while, someone who you would probably call like a brand advocate. So someone who talks well about your business and has got the right approach around that. And it just gives the new starter someone that they can go to, ask questions, get clarification, and just kind of create a sense of belonging in the organisation. So have a look at your kind of mentor and buddy system, and if you are doing that, it's definitely worthwhile having some training in place for the buddies around that. The reason being is that most experienced member of staff might not be the necessarily the best person to do that. So you need to kind of make sure they've got the right skills and experience to kind of perform that role. The next one is around clear communication. So, what you want to be doing there is covering things like around their job role in detail, expectations. You'd also be looking at things like their roles and responsibilities, covering things around your kind of company mission, company values, long-term kind of company goals, and all the things that are important to you and the business, but it helps the individual who's starting understand where they fit into that. So, doing that early on in the onboarding process definitely does help. So having kind of clear communication will help you do that. Where possible as well, the next one is on interactive training. So again, what you want to try and do is have a bit of a kind of blended approach here. So there's nothing more I suppose disengaging than having to come in on your first day and just complete loads of online kind of courses, and whether that's health and safety and death by PowerPoint or whatever. So try to kind of make that training a little bit interactive. So find a blend of in-person delivery. If there is any kind of online training you need to do as well, kind of break that up a little bit throughout the day. And just kind of look at different things around hands-on experience, different kind of workshops, and just look at how you're going to keep the individual kind of engaged and excited, so you're not going to put them off during the first few days. Now, I get some businesses is heavily regulated, and so there might be a lot of that you have to do online, but have a look at that. If it is some of that stuff that could be done before the start, so that you're not kind of wasting that time on the first few days. But just have a look at that. What you don't want to be doing is having people completing loads of online courses before they join as well, and after they join. So just have a look at how you kind of break that down. But online courses are definitely a great way to engage and induct and onboard people, but just look at the frequency of that and where you kind of fit that into your overall induction kind of plan. So key point there is interactive kind of training. So have a blended approach and use different kind of methods. Next one is just around capturing feedback. So on a regular basis, kind of check in with your new starters. You want to try and get some feedback around their experience, how things are going. Create a forum that if they've got kind of concerns as well, that you can kind of raise that. Quite often, if someone has got a negative kind of doubt about the business and that's not addressed, that decision to leave the business can actually sometimes be made quite early on in their employment. So if you can do what you can to address that early on, then hopefully it mitigates that risk and it allows you to retain that member of staff longer term. So just have a look at how you capture feedback during the onboarding process, and take feedback on what they've enjoyed about the induction and onboarding, what can be improved upon. And asking these questions kind of just demonstrates that you're kind of committed to making that a really good experience. And I think where a lot of businesses kind of go wrong is sometimes induction and onboarding is just seen as that first day, and that's not the case. Onboarding doesn't end after the first day or the first week or the first month. What you're kind of looking to do is kind of create a long-term plan that goes beyond that, and continually looking to kind of create a culture for continuous improvement. So think about that overall kind of process, and if you can, is have someone who maybe checks in with the individual maybe after 4 weeks, 8 weeks and 12 weeks, And certainly there shouldn't be any surprises when it comes to the probation review, which typically could be 3 months or 6 months, is that you've kind of captured feedback from the individual but given them feedback as well. So have a think about your kind of long-term onboarding as part of that. Next one is just around celebrating milestones. So, kind of recognise and kind of celebrate any achievements that the individual has maybe done. So that could be, both big achievements and small achievements. So if it's maybe completing a specific part of training or something that they've done that's been quite exceptional during the onboarding period as well, just to kind of celebrate that. It boosts a bit of morale for the individual, and it just kind of reinforces that kind of positive impact as well. So make sure that's something that you're kind of celebrating during the onboarding process as well. And the next one is just around technology. So this is where it kind of has moved on quite a bit from when I first started getting involved in onboarding and induction, as technology is there to make the process really seamless. So, gone are the days where your first day is spent, filling in loads of paperwork, because that can all be done in advance, but done through technology. So capturing things like personal details, any medical health questionnaires if you need that information, emergency contact details, next of kin, all that type of information, that can all be captured as part of the onboarding process before they come into the business, but using technology to do that. And then kind of using technology as well for, just enhancing that onboarding experience. So using things like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, it might be Slack for communication channels, whatever your forum might be, it's just try to use that technology that's available to you to make that quite an engaging process. And the final point is just to make sure that you capture feedback from the new hires that you've brought into your business. So, seek feedback from them around what they thought of the onboarding journey, what did they think of the recruitment experience, how have they found their buddies and kind of mentors, for example, how's that all working out, and just get some feedback around what what they think you should do differently. So that gives you invaluable kind of insight in terms of the experience that they've gone through and the different touch points, and it allows you to kind of refine that for any future kind of new starters that are coming in. So that was kind of my take, probably 10 key points there around making an onboarding process successful in your business. As I say, this is the sort of thing that we give advice to clients on all the time, and it's certainly something that we've done in our own business as well as we've kind of grown the team. And the key point just to try and remember is that, effective onboarding isn't just about the paperwork and the policies. It's about making your new people kind of feel valued, feel supported and empowered to kind of make a difference to your business. So hopefully that's been kind of useful. Hopefully it kind of helps you set up, your new starters for success in the future. But if you've got any questions on anything in this episode or anything kind of HR people related, we're happy to kind of support with that. So you can contact us at the usual places. So via the website, which is www.thehrbooth.co.uk, and you can also contact us online, which is info@thehrbooth.co.uk. So thanks for tuning in, and there'll be more episodes to follow in due course. Thank you.